Hi, welcome back. This is Unit 4, Section 2, and the first video for this lesson. This is Ms. Clemens-Brenton, and in this video we'll look at how to identify nets. A net is a two-dimensional pattern that folds to form a 3D object without any holes or overlaps. As you can see here, when each of these patterns are folded, unique 3D objects are formed. So how can we tell if a given pattern is actually a net? To determine if a pattern is a net, we can imagine the pattern folding to a three-dimensional object to visualize which sides will meet. This can be tricky, so take your time and try your best. If we look at the first pattern on the left, we can see that the top triangle will touch this side, and the bottom triangle will touch here. And it appears that these vertices over here will meet the vertex of this triangle on the right. In the second pattern, it looks like this triangle will meet here, and the far triangle will meet this side. However, that leaves this side open, and there appears to be a hole in the object. So let's fold the objects now to see what actually happens. So we were correct. The object on the left is complete, it's a closed 3D object, whereas the figure on the right has a hole here on this side and an overlap here on the left. So this pattern on the right was not a net. Example 2. Which pattern is the net of a cylinder? We can see that both patterns have two circular pieces and a rectangular piece that would wrap around the circles. So which pattern do you think will create a complete cylinder once folded? Well, let's see. The pattern on the left folds down on the top and on the bottom and makes a closed cylinder, whereas when the pattern on the right folds, the two circles on the top create an overlap and there's a hole here on the bottom. So the pattern on the right is not a net. Example 3. Which pattern is a net of a cube? Again, we try to visualize the pattern folding into a 3D object. On the left, it looks like these two sides will meet, as will these sides. However, here on the bottom, both of these sides will meet in here, which means that an overlap will be created. On the right, these four sides will fold to create the front, bottom, back, and top of the cube, and these pieces on the left and right will fold up to create the sides. So let's fold to see what actually happens. The object on the right folds to form a complete cube, while the object on the left has a hole here on the top and an overlap on the left-hand side. So the left pattern was not a net. Example 4. Which pattern is a net of a decagonal pyramid? When looking at the pattern on the left, we can see that this side will touch here, this side will meet here, this side will meet here, and these two sides will meet in the same spot, so it looks like an overlap will be created. Right here, we'll notice that there's no side to meet here, which means there's a hole in the object. When we look at the pattern on the right, this side will meet here, and this one here. This side will meet, and this side will meet. So it looks like all the sides meet correctly. So when we fold these 3D objects, the figure on the right is a complete closed figure. When we look at the figure on the left, we can see that it does have some issues. There is a hole right here, and this side right here creates an overlap. Therefore, the pattern on the left is not a net. Please complete the activities for this lesson.